Yo, what's going on, guys? DJHES here. Got a video for you guys today, a little discussion video about basically real leather versus synthetic leathers on Jordans, mostly Jordans, because that's kind of like the ones that use leather nowadays. But here's the thing, like I sent out a tweet and an Instagram picture of the four shoes right here on the left-hand side, and I said which one of these four shoes, or which ones of these shoes are fake and which ones are synthetic. And the crazy thing is there was a huge reaction saying majority of them were basically saying that the Fire Red 5s were synthetic, the 4s were synthetic, and everything but the 3s or everything but the 5s, the Black Tongue 5s were synthetic. But it kind of opened my eyes up quite a bit because I've been one of those people that have been buying, and I'm throwing my camera around here, sorry. I've been buying sneakers for over a decade now. I mean for quite a long time, actually. 10 years of actually me collecting, but I've been into sneakers since I was like 18 or whatever. But the thing is that there's so much to consider with sneakers and quality and the materials that they use to actually make the sneakers. And I did a little investigating today, and I got nowhere fast, man, because there's not enough information on the web about the quality and the materials used to make these shoes. And one thing that I think would make things really, really, really helpful is if on the Jordan brand boxes, like you can see right over here, if these boxes right here actually had right here what type of leather or what type of materials were used to make the shoe, like just a quick list right here instead of just the color and where it was made, it would be really, really beneficial to us to know what type of material is in the shoe. Then we don't have this guessing game of, and let me refocus here, sorry. We don't have this guessing game of, is it leather or is it synthetic leather? And the answer to the question, if I didn't answer it already, is that all four of those are actually real leather. Now then it gets into a really slippery slope, because what is considered real leather or not? And this was actually news to me, because I think general population feels like the Fire Red 5s that were just released this year are synthetic, and the Fire Red 4s are synthetic leathers. They're not actual leathers. But when I did some digging, and like, it's really, really crazy. They're actually leather, but then there's different grades of leathers and stuff. There's a top grain, there's a full grain, there's a bottom cut, and it's called split grain or whatever. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things. And I'm not the expert on this stuff, guys. If you guys know a lot about this type of stuff, leave a comment. Let me know which is, I guess, which is what. I mean, I did a lot of searching, and I'll show you guys actually a picture that I found on the internet right here. And this is an example of a cowhide. You can see it being split, and let's see, focus here. You can see the top section of it is considered the top grain, what they actually end up calling the full grain, and the bottom is called the split grain. And the split grain area is kind of what some of these shoes that we see supposedly are made out of. Now, again, there's no way to verify, and I try to do this on websites and whatnot, and I'll show you, like, if you go to I apologize, just shipping around the camera. Like, I went to this just random retro Jordan right here, the Jokers, and I went down here to see what type of materials were used. The upper material says leather on it. It doesn't say anything else. Some of them have different information though. Like if you click on, see, like the Jordan 4 right here, it actually says it's made from a rich, what does it say? It's a rich split grain leather and nubuck upper. So this is, again, this is one of those things I never really cared what the shoes were made out of in the past, but digging into it, it makes me kind of wonder, like, why is there's not enough regulation on what type of leathers are being used on the shoes. So for one, we don't even know if it's real leather or not, and two, if it is real leather, we don't know the grade of leather. It'd be nice if there was, and it's not Nike's fault, it's just, it'd be nice if there was some sort of a grading system of knowing what type of leather you're actually getting. And I mean, simple things like, when I first started doing these videos like over a year ago, I didn't know that this leather on the 3s right here was called tumbled leather. I mean, that's something I didn't know. And, you guys taught me that, and somebody that's really knowledgeable about this stuff is Nightwing. If you guys, I'm sure you guys already know who Nightwing is, but if you don't know who he is, you guys definitely got to sub to his channel, because he's really knowledgeable on the makes and the ins and outs of the sneakers it sells. Let's see here, moving on. So it's not a discussion whether it's real or synthetic. It's more of a discussion of full grain leather versus split grain leather. And split grain leather is some of the ones that we see here from time to time. Some of them are full grain, but we don't know the difference. I saw online some of the Jordan 12s were actually full grain, supposedly. these ones, I brought these ones out in particular right here because these don't look like a split grain leather to me. Like the bands look like they're a high quality leather. So I don't know what they used for the bands. Maybe they went with the older material since it was an older shoe. I don't know. Or since it was a throwback to the older shoe. And so yeah, so it's the fact that we don't know what, or at least I don't know what materials they use on each shoe. It makes me look back and look at my collection and go, damn, like I need to be able to figure out which ones are what. And it makes it really, really difficult because, again, we don't have a lot of knowledge on this stuff. Now, let's see here. I actually made notes here, right here, on this subject because there was so much for me to cover, and I'm fumbling around here trying to get through these things. I know that split grain actually has something that they use sometimes with, they use it with a spray PU, I guess. Not PU, but PU, polyurethane. And polyurethane is actually a fake leather. So the fact that they combine a leather and have a coating of fake leather over top of it, I guess it actually makes it, that's what actually makes it stiff. And I guess, well, at least that's what I'm understanding. Again, I'm not the expert on this crap, dudes. But from what I understand, the PU probably makes it stiff, and it also makes it more durable, though, so it kind of hides the actual leather underneath it. So if you were to cut it down the middle, you'd probably see the leather underneath it. The reasons why Nike actually, or Jordan brand actually started doing this, you got to think that basically leather, I mean, there's a simple answer. It's that they want to maximize their profits. Leather costs a lot more than now. Like 20 years ago, it costs a lot more. And you got to know that obviously lower costs to them equals higher profit margins. So, I mean, if you consider that, then it's like, yeah, they're running an efficient business. That's the reason why they're giving us lower grade leather on a shoe and doing everything they can to make it more premium, I guess. But the fact of the matter is it's still not the same cut as maybe possibly some of the originals. And now I don't know when or if Nike or Jordan brand made shoes with full grain leather religiously, and then they cut them off on a certain date and then decided to make them with a cheap leather. I'm not sure about that stuff, but the whole discussion came about because I wanted to have an actual discussion on would you guys pay more for real leather on sneakers? Because this is me stupid thinking. I actually thought that, like you guys, a lot of you guys out there thought that like the Fire Red 5s were made from a synthetic. It's actually just a lower grade leather. So would you guys pay more, I guess is the revised question, would you guys pay more for full grain soft leather on some of the favorite shoes like the Fire Red 5s or just any of the newer releases that are coming out? Would you pay more? Would you be willing to put up for that $200 price tag, or $220, or maybe even $250 if it's really premium leather? Would you be willing to pay that for the quality of the shoes? Now, one thing, some people always say that OG qualities were always better, but there's one thing I do want to interject, because it's like, I promise you guys that OG shoes had its share of flaws back in the day. The main difference being is we have the internet now. There was no way to showcase all of your flaws on the sneakers that you ended up buying back 20 plus years ago for these shoes. Like, I'm sure enough of them had their Jordan Jumpmans upside down, or their symbols messed up, or everything not lined up perfectly. There was a ton of those. I guarantee it. Back in the day, the difference again was there wasn't the internet. Now there is. You can send a really messed up picture of a production pair of shoes to Finish Line or whoever, and I mean Kicks on Fire, and they'll retweet it, and then everybody will see this picture of a messed up shoe. So technology nowadays, the fact that we can actually have this mass media sort of stuff, it makes it so one flaw in a sneaker is magnified by 10,000 comparison. You know what I'm saying? So I guess consider that. Also, I understand that the leather quality on the originals were probably better. I personally have never owned a pair of OG Jordans, so I wouldn't know. And I've never really been into the materials either, so I wouldn't know. But it makes me want to take a trip to Asia and actually check out the factories and see how everything's made, because I'm really, really interested in the quality now of what actually compiled, what it takes to compile a Jordan shoe actually from scratch. Let's see here. What else do I have? I think, oh yeah, the last note I wanted to make is Jordan brand is kind of held to a different standard, because we all love these retro nostalgic shoes, but all of these are made out of leather. The shoes nowadays that we see are these guys like this. They're made out of Flywire and Hyperfuse and whatnot. So the fact of the matter is the quality on this is going to be second to none, because they don't have like B grade and A grade Hyperfuse like materials. It's one material that is used to make this shoe. for the leather shoes, it's kind of a different thing. But nowadays, nothing that is made, unless, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but majority of the shoes out there that Nike makes, at least, and even Jordan brand, they're made out of just completely different materials. There's not a lot of ones that are made out of leather, except for our the whole nostalgic retro shoe, which it's really hard. And my dogs are barking down there. Sorry about that. It's really hard to reproduce a sneaker that was done over 20 years ago with our kind of heightened, oversensitized visions of what quality is. Goddamn dogs. Comparison to the shoes like the LeBrons nowadays that are all just, again, hyperfused. Let me know you guys' thoughts. So this video's gone long enough. Definitely wanted to give a shout out to all you guys on Twitter and Instagram giving me feedback on this subject, because it really spiked an interest in myself, and it's something that I think that if you guys never had an interest in it before, maybe it will help pique some of your guys' interest in it now, because again, man, I've been at it for over a decade, and the fact of the matter is I can't believe I've never really looked into it. But again, my suggestion, it would be cool if we had the type of leather on the actual boxes. I know some of you guys are going to agree or disagree with the leather quality on the Jordans nowadays. Obviously, I'm sure we would like to see a full grain leather and higher quality for the price point. But have a good one, guys, and we will catch you guys later. Peace.